Frank, what are we doing today?
We're moving another scrap shovel.
Alrighty, let's do it. Well, it's 3:30 in the morning. Welcome to the show. Good morning, guys. We're on our way to go help Frank move a Lima 604 shovel. We have our Talbert 50-ton beam trailer with the 4th axle on, and this is going to be the maiden voyage for the beam insert in this trailer. Just picked this thing up this summer. It's a modular trailer, which means we can swap the beam and the deck insert. So if you're interested in how that works, check out our last video on that trailer. We're there. This is the back-end only kind of location. There's not too many people I would drive 4 hours with the beam trailer to move a shovel for, but Frank is one of those people. So we're down here towards Baltimore, picking this shovel up and going straight north into Pennsylvania to the Steam O Rama Show. Are you on the board there, Frank?
No.
Frank runs the joint, I think.
No, not really. Maybe one day.
Frank, you gotta look at the camera.
Oh, I didn't know you were pointing the camera at me.
Well, yeah. What is it?
Lima 604, yard and a half, Cat 13,000.
What year is it?
51, I think he said.
Okay. Lines up with the 13,000. All right, Frank, we need the tour of your new unit here.
So I guess Jimmy's owned this thing since 79 or 80. And him and his dad used this. There used to be a huge bank here, and they dug this whole thing out.
Oh, yeah?
So it's moved quite a bit of dirt. I think before that it was owned by the government or something like that. It was sold new in California as a crane.
Holy cow. World traveler.
Yeah.
She got some miles on her.
And then at some point it got a shovel front, and the crane boom got left behind. I guess there was some additional counterweight, and the back gantry was left behind also.
I swear the shovel front looks smaller than the machine.
It is tiny.
Like the bucket is way smaller than the Lorraine's.
Oh, yard and a half. And what's the Lorraine?
I thought it, so the brochures say 2, but I think that bucket's bigger than 2. That's pretty fair size.
You can see it's done some digging.
It's definitely done some work.
Yeah, it's gonna need some.
Ready for
some
the hard face package.
Somebody put a lot of time welding on that thing. I mean, there's some rods in that.
Yeah, there is. That's worth fortune in scrap right there.
So this has the long undercarriage.
Because it was a crane?
Yeah, because it was a crane. And the wider pads. These are 34 instead of 24.
What do we think it weighs?
Somewhere between 78,000 pounds and 90,000 pounds.
Because of our kind of unknown in the weight here, we permitted it like we were at, I guess, really close to 100,000, really. I'm permitted like 146,000 gross. So we're good if it's like under 100,000. We're being, as long as our axles are okay. So because I don't have a tag axle on the truck, we're going to put this thing on what I would call backwards with the shovel front going forward, and that's why we have our 4-axle set up. If we had a tag axle on the truck, we could probably just have 3 axles on the trailer, put the bucket towards the back of the trailer like you normally would, and be just fine.
Sounds good.
So is this thing ready to start, Frank? Or are we going to start by flipping our axle? What are we doing?
I was just checking fluids. I only got here a few minutes before you.
Oh,
so,
man. We were just hammered down this morning. I woke up at like a little after 3 o'clock.
I slept in.
Cheater. So you got the copper airline package. That's cool. And I noticed they're still original.
Yeah, nobody stole them all these years. So it's full air controlled. The only thing that is manual is the truck lock to lock the machine from moving while you're digging, and then that lever switches it from swing to travel. And apparently this is a valve that redirects the air through a regulator for the swing when you're in swing mode.
Oh, I see. The linkage is supposed to be on the swing
Yeah,
lever. That's
right
cool.
now we're getting max air pressure to the
Sweet.
swingers.
That's what we need.
We need all the travel power.
So you say you got a school bus seat package for it?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go scope that out because I haven't seen it yet.
There's not even a base. We got the Bluetooth seat right now. I think like a recliner would fit there.
Yeah. So I guess.
Man, new gauges. Holy cow.
Yeah, I popped some gauges in. This is your steering over here, boom hoist over here,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
and then bucket trip, swing, and normal crowd retract.
They even labeled them nicely for you.
Yeah.
How about that gauge? That's cool.
So he added that. That's the oil pressure.
Oh,
He wanted to be able to see the oil pressure while he was running it.
Well, you got to keep an eye on these things.
We got the swing lock over here. Here's your master clutch. And it had a lighting package at one time.
So if you guys don't know Frank, he's 73 Diamond Rio on YouTube. Frank, are you making a video on this?
I've got some footage of all the work we've done up until now.
You better have.
So it's been a lot of work. It's been what?
You've been down here, what, 3-4 times?
More than that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more than that. It's a month of Sundays.
Well, that's 4.
Yeah. And then some.
4 10-minute trips.
So
How far is this from your house, Frank?
2 hours.
Yeah, that's not that close.
No, it's
Look at all that friction material you still have, though.
yeah, everything's in actually pretty good shape in this thing.
Pretty good size air compressor.
So he swapped that out. Originally it was a 12 CFM, and I don't know what that thing does.
I think you're like 180 now.
Yeah, it's got all the air.
Half the power of the engine's going to the air compressor.
So air goes up into a high pressure tank up above your head.
I don't know how much this belt is doing turning on. Where's the tank?
Up above your head.
Oh,
so we got a high
sweet.
pressure tank, and then there's a regulator that feeds the low pressure tank, and you're supposed to run 70 psi.
What's up with the low pressure tank?
The low pressure tank is just what runs the air system.
So what's a high and low pressure?
The high pressure is just extra storage, I guess.
Well, I'm saying like how much pressure is high and how much pressure is low.
Low is 70, high I think is 130.
Oh, I gotcha. Just so you could jam more air in a smaller area, I guess? Versus
Probably.
having more
Probably.
70?
Right. Then we got an oil pump down here. This is driven off an eccentric on the reversing shaft, and that oils.
That's
stuff.
pretty cool. You don't have to remember to turn it on and off like a Northwest.
No, but I do have to hook it back up.
Nah. Optional. So we're trying to do a little math on how much crib block we need. You said that's 18 in clearance, Frank?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing to consider is just getting on the trailer. We have that,
I marked it for you, bud.
well, I'm just saying that chain case, we got to
Yeah.
clear that on the beam and all the cross members.
They sit down pretty low, it looks, on your trailer. Like they're not right up against the top
They're
of the
not
beam.
that far from the beam. though.
You only got like 2 inches or 3 inches of that chain case hanging down.
So if that's 18 inches, I guess we ought to pull the shims on the back of the beam and then dump the air out of the trailer, and then we'll know exactly how low we can get the back of the beam. Because the beam's only 15 inches at the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's flat on the
I
ground.
thought you figured all this out already. You said 22.
Well, that's what it is right now, I think, if the air's dumped.
Oh.
But I think we can get it better than that. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. It might help our cause.
All right.
No, I haven't figured it all out, Frank. This is my first time pulling a beam trailer.
Yeah. So we're learning together here.
Full disclosure
Yeah.
on this mission.
Trial by fire.
So we got to flip the fourth axle down, unchain the third axle, pin the fourth axle in place. And then because this is a modular trailer and the beam comes off, we have these shims in here. And basically what that helps you with is the deflection from different weights and how much that flexes the trailer. So we're probably going to need a thicker shim than that in it once we're actually loaded. But to get loaded, I'm going to take those shims clear out, and that'll help get the beam lower to the ground is what I'm hoping. So it'll be easier to walk the machine over the beam. We're going to have to put some blocks on the ground to help raise the machine up. What are we doing now, Frank? What did you do?
Snap some brass fittings off in this radiator. I seem to have a habit of doing that.
These things happen. I'm gonna hook this chain up so we can flip it over with the forklift. Hi, bud.
He's getting the big forklift.
What's better than a 30,000 pound heister with a Detroit? I like it. Out.
Oh!
Oops. Let me pick it up first and pull the chain off of this axle.
More. More.
Up.
It's getting close. There we go. We're in.
We're going to take these shims out now. That definitely helped though.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we pulled all the shims out, which essentially got us to lower the beam down. How tall are you now, Frank?
Just above 19.
And what, we're 18 on the machine.
Yeah, 18 clearance on the machine.
Other than the gear case, so taking the shims out definitely helped lower it. We'll just have to lift the machine up and, you know, crib it again when we put the big shims back in once we're loaded. But unfortunately, we need room to get the forklift around this trailer. And this is kind of the only location that'll all work is on this slope. And we know how that went with the Bay City going up on the trailer, so I'm a little scared. So it's probably not right, but we have a plan. We're roughly gonna sit on 6 inches of height here, and we're hoping to land on 4 inches of spacer to the beam.
That's back far enough.
Yeah, Frank, get the old shipping crate out the way.
236,000 miles.
This might be our service truck rescuing us today.
It could be. Or you might have to rescue me.
Or I might have to tow you behind the shovel. So because we have the big forklift here, we do have some options. If we just walk the machine up here at the beginning, we could take the forklift, hook onto that D-ring, drag the trailer underneath the machine, or because we had the blocks, we had to move them anyway, we laid them out. The machine should be able to walk up there. The reason we're using a beam trailer is because this machine's already 12, 5, or 6 high, so height's a bit of a concern versus being on the deck of a lowboy. So that's why we're giving the beam a go. So now we just need a shovel. Frank's working on getting that fired up now.
I'm working.
What's that, Frank?
We should probably move that forklift.
Oh, that's just like the one we have at Atlantis. Other than, ours has a Continental, not a Detroit. I'll trade. Oh, yeah, buddy.
Repower package.
I say, what do we got? Like a 353?
It's a 453.
453. Sweet. Are we allowed to drive, Frank?
I don't know.
I'd like to beg for forgiveness. Oh, it's a monotrol scrap one, too. Got that Hydro Boost. Oh, buddy. This is a D13000 cat, which is the same as what's in a 2U D8. Basically in late 40s, early 50s, D8 would have this engine. And of course, it's a pony engine. Pony run good, Frank?
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. Has it been running well?
Other than the fuel shut off, everything's been all right.
Oh, you don't need shut off. All gas, no brakes. This thing looks cool.
We're gonna electric start it.
Look at that, powered by a Caterpillar. I don't know that the Block C logo is quite correct there, Frank. We got her now.
Ain't got no gas in it.
I told you. I told you, it ain't got no gas in it.
We gotta make sure there's no. Though.
She's going in. Now that we got gas in it, and by we, I mean crack.
artificial wrench.
What do you want me to do?
I might have to pull that cover off.
Not happy, Bob. There it is. Just need a little persuasion.
John, where are you? We need you. Leave it, like, come back. That way a little bit, but we have the forklift too, so
Let's get as close as we can.
yeah. I just drug him back a bit.
Huh?
We pulled him back a good bit. I figured there was no reason to be up on it where we were. Little remote control throttle package jump.
Yeah. Where'd my ladder go? I'm too old for this.
Come on, Frank, you can do it. I'll catch you. Oh yeah, give it the beat. Just giving her. All kind of clearance, Clarence. So fortunately, we have a forklift here we can drag the trailer with. As you can see, the trailer needs to go that way quite a bit. You can see Frank's marks in there where it needs to go. It's not off as far as I thought. It's honestly closer than I thought it was. It walked right up on there. You didn't hold back. You were giving her the beans.
Oh no. That was the clutch I was having issues with too. That's where that little seal fell out of the control valve.
Oh.
I'm glad it didn't over center like it did last time because it was sending all that air to it.
We're gonna take the big forklift and try to move the trailer down 2 or 3 inches.
You want to pick it up with a chain? All right.
Not quite.
What do you want?
That's pretty much it right there.
All right.
That lined us up pretty well on our marks. It looks like it's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
You need to walk the machine back this way. A fuzz. We're like against the tires right now. All right. Still on the money there. I should have taken all those out first. All the weight there. Well, we're sitting in a good place right now. We're going to back the truck in so we have air and hydraulics on the front, of course. Get everything tight and chain the machine down just so it can't move. And then we got to put the big shims in the back and pull the blocks out from under the pads.
I'm surprised how well it walked up.
It walked right. I was too. I was like, hard to tell where you are.
We gotta do the shims first, or?
Well, we're gonna need air, I figure.
I didn't know if you had to work the neck back and forth, or?
Oh, I'm sure we will. We won't need to disconnect it, though. We ought to air up tight and chain it like we said originally, I think. All right, I'm gonna lift it up, Frank. You good? Huh? I think we're tight on the front.
Yeah, you're picking everything.
I can let the neck down. Will this hook fit that hole, or is it too big? That'll work. And then we can take a big hook binder to that.
Got quite the crowd.
I know. I need to raise her up. So we've got these shims under it. Now we're trying to dump the air. Take the tension off those bolts. So the problem we're facing right now is we didn't have the big shim in there to begin with. We're having trouble lifting everything enough to crib underneath the trailer to put the big shim in. So we are very gradually picking and reblocking and setting down and getting a little bit thicker shim in here each time. And at least now the back of the trailer is level enough that we can actually do a little bit of picking without the back being at the max airbag travel, essentially. We got that piece of crib block in there to try to tighten the tracks.
I feel like we're leaning over.
We have the blocks out from under the tracks now, so the front of the trailer is all the way down. Aired down the tail, and we're able to get our big thick shims in here. And now we're starting to air back up. I think this is going to ride about where we want it to. Back's finally where we want it. I would guess, Frank, we're just going to want to run this, like, leave it like it is, this setting.
Which way?
Well, we may want to go to the next one, huh?
What, the tall one? Tall?
You think go on the tall one? Yeah, I think we want the tall one. Want the truck air up? Well, Frank, I guess let's put the bucket how we want to put it on the neck there. And it died. Look at those new bushings. Oh, yeah. Worst case, we can push over that forklift and then somehow run it later. Does it have any fuel in it?
There was 3/4 of a gallon or 3/4 of a tank.
Right, bro. Negative, Ghost Rider. It has to do with these two gauges and say 0
the right.
and 0.
The right. Yeah.
Hey, bud, that forklift will make all your problems go away.
No, we still gotta get it unloaded.
Oh, we'll be level then. We'll just have to bleed it out, you know. He said, no problem, bud. Have you seen this Ford? Oh, yeah. Good thing you put that crib block under there, Frank. If we move that block. I'm probably going to remake that pan anyway, so, you know, it is what it is.
We should do it with the forklift.
You got any up in that thing? Oh, you had it up some, huh? What if I picked up the neck with the truck?
Oh.
We got to use every means available to help our cause here.
You probably just push from the side.
Can we pick it up and get that out? Yeah. The beauty of hydraulics, Frank. Look at this poor old Louisville hiding in the weeds, though.
Scrap.
Scrap. What? Can't break your heart like that. We're trying to pick up on the boom to take the tension off the boom cable. You got her there. And we're gonna manually release the dog and the brake. Well, Frank's gonna hook up his air compressor to release the brake, the auxiliary air compressor. So it seems that we have like 1/3 of a tank of fuel, but because of this lean of death that's been cursing the whole loading like I was afraid of, the pickup is on the uphill side. So it ran out of fuel. And we're hoping we can just kind of get it finished loading here with the forklift, and once we're unloading it'll be level, and hopefully we can prime it and regain fuel again. Giving her the umbilical cord of air. We don't seem to have much air yet, Frankel.
We don't.
We got our handy dandy super special bleeder that bleeds you before the delivery valves here. So we're still trying to get the machine running again and then hopefully able to boom down. If we weren't 14 foot something tall, we'd be going by now. And the machine ain't got no gas in it. We'll get her. Finally primed and running again. We should be able to lower the boom now. Well, we got her just about ready to go. We got the boom lowered down, so we're under height now. End up throwing one chain through the pulleys, take the bounce out of the boom, and one over the bucket. Two chains at the boom pins, that keeps the house from turning, along with the two down there on the car body. So we added the chains to help holding the tracks up. And I put these two more chains on the back of the house. These are hooked to that big bolt on the frame. And the two down there on the car body. So that's 8 1/2-inch chains and 2 3/8 chains. I think we should be good to go. Hopefully once we're off of this hill we level out a little bit, but we'll see. Alrighty, let's do it.
lot of traffic in this section. So we're going pretty slow, 35, 40. Everything's going good so far.
So far, so good. We'll just keep her rolling. Water temp and everything staying in check. Oh, beautiful up here today in Pennsylvania. We got away from all the clouds down there. Baltimore. Not sure what lake this is, but it looks cool over there. Frank's still an actor escort, but you can never see him. Holy hell, I've never been pulling in first gear this hard before. Yes, this is first gear. 25-pound of boost. Holy. Well, we made her. Now we start the unloading process. And as far as it all went, really couldn't ask for much more on the ride. Trailer behaved, truck behaved, right, Frank?
Yeah, it did all right.
Frank behaved.
We only lost two lights.
Well, that was their last time ever being used, those lights on the fourth axle. So,
I don't know about
you're... Why, they're getting ripped out and it's getting blasted. You're telling me that the wire I wrapped together with my fingers is still working? And the other ones aren't?
I don't know what you got going on over here. Dad. Just look at him. Well, guys, after a little trek across the turnpike after we put the trailer together, we made her home. The old Ford performed relatively flawlessly, I would say, and everything went about as well as it could after we got everything loaded up.
Like I said earlier, this was the first time I've ever pulled a beam trailer. I've been around this trailer when it was a beam one time. When I was just out of high school, I worked for the company who used to own this trailer, which is a local contractor. I pulled it with the drop side in a little bit. I never pulled it as a beam trailer. I helped a guy move a PC 600 on this trailer with no stick and no counterweight. The biggest thing I would do differently is put the shims in from the start. We had a hard time getting this thing picked up, cribbed up, dumped the air in order to put the thick shims back in the trailer. The reason these shims are there is to keep the back of the trailer level so all the airbags are relatively even, as long as they're not at the end of their stroke, either in or out, and all of the axles are going to be carrying the same load. If this back frame gets too far out of whack, you're actually going to be limiting the travel of the airbags, which could be a big problem for the weight distribution on the 4 axles back here. When we unloaded the machine, we just had it up on a little bit more cribbing, lifted the airbags up, lifted the neck up, put the blocks under, lowered everything down, and then drug the trailer out from underneath it. That was way nicer because we didn't need to throw all the crib blocks down and walk it all the way off the beam. We just got the beam out of the way, out from under the machine. Our new friend Super Trucker Calamity Kim has pointed out that using old solid forklift tires is way nicer than using crib blocks. I guess we can go find these from old forklift places. They pay to get rid of them. She said a lot of times, hey, they just let you take them. So some old solid forklift tires, potentially a bigger one on the bottom and a little bit smaller one inside it on top of it. Those can be used instead of crib blocks for a much lighter, more durable, outdoor-proof solution. So I'm gonna try to track down some of those. I think that's a really good idea. Curious to try that in the future going forward. So this winter, I'm gonna be doing a lot of work to this trailer. I actually have 3 new axles for the main trailer here. These ones are a little bit tweaked. I think they've been welded on a lot where they mount to the suspension and that's kind of pulled on them. So I'm gonna replace these 3 axles. There's other welding we need to do all throughout this back section, the drop side insert. The beam's in really good shape. We're gonna put aluminum wheels on it, a bunch of new tires, sandblast, paint, new LED lights, new wiring, the whole 9 yards. Make this trailer really nice. I wanna keep this trailer for a really long time, so we're gonna put a lot of time and effort into fixing it up and making ourselves a really nice modular trailer to have around. So all in all, I'm very happy with how things went. I love that we were able to go help Frank move that shovel. And if you guys are interested in seeing the 604 Lima dig, it is at the Steam O Rama Show. Their show is coming up in about 2 weeks. Just Google it, steamorama.com, I think their website is. But it's near York, Pennsylvania, which is over east from us quite a bit. But if you're interested, go check it out. So go check out 73 Diamond Rio, that's Frank's channel. He's got a video put together of getting that 604 resurrected up and running, basically everything prior to us hauling it. And I think a little bit after even. He's got it digging now, but in 2 weeks there at Steam O Rama Show, I'm sure he'll have it all fired up, running, digging well, so go check it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a really fun mission. It was a lot of work, but I really enjoyed it. I think Frank enjoyed it too. You could see how proud he was, how happy he was of his new shovel. Really cool feeling there. Saving history, keeping her going. I'm Sam with Scrappy Industries. We'll catch you on the next one.